EA, what the fuck are you doing? With the announcement of Command & Conquer Rivals, I am just completely convinced that EA has no idea what they're doing anymore. Don't just take it from me, take it from Patrick Soderlund. Mr. Soderlund is the Chief Design Officer at EA, and he had some things to say about Command & Conquer. People make the mistake of saying, this is what you really want. EA Chief Design Officer Patrick Soderlund talks about bringing back Command & Conquer as a mobile game and what the publisher really gets out of EA Originals. So Mr. Soderlund thinks we don't know what we want. So I've decided I'm going to look at Metacritic and look at all of the user scores for the highest rated Command & Conquer games, and we're going to think about what is it that the player really wants. First off, let's talk about what Command & Conquer is and what it isn't. In a lot of ways, Command & Conquer is similar to a simulation game, nothing so deep as a Sid Meier's Civilization or Total War Empires, but it is a game about how a commander would approach a battle situation. How would you go about seizing an unoccupied piece of land, scouting out the area, building a base, finding enemies, and engaging with them? A lot of those things require having a large map, and that's just not something you can capture on a mobile device.
Plus, it involves typing with your thumbs, which I just don't approve of.
Can I just take a second to talk about how much I hate the fact that this is another fucking PvP mobile strategy game? Like, is it not enough that we have fucking Clash of Clans and fucking all these stupid ass Game of War fucking copies? We need another one? Something someone said that really resonated with me was that instead of setting the trend, they're following the trend, which is just so true for this series, because if you really think about it, all of these Clash of Clans games, all of these Game of War games, they were all copying from Command & Conquer. Now it's the opposite? What the fuck happened? In case you weren't aware of how annoyed people are with this genre by now, just take a listen to this fucking crowd as the Legend 27 steps onto the fucking stage.
Gaming phenomenon, please join me in welcoming to the stage
the Legend 27.
Oh my god, how embarrassing. I'm not a fan of StarCraft 2, but holy shit, look at this fucking crowd react to these losers. Sorry EA, but you're not gonna fucking turn this game into an esport. Esports are so fucking stupid as it is, but this is just not gonna fucking top any of the other games in the rotation. Competitive multiplayer was never what made Command & Conquer great. I mean, yeah, the multiplayer is good, but back in the 90s, the multiplayer was always an afterthought. It wasn't until the recent decade that we started focusing exclusively on multiplayer. The reason why people liked Command & Conquer was because of the fast, simple, easy to learn and fun to master gameplay, as well as the cheesy, over-the-top cutscenes.
I'm the one that put you into office.
Listen very carefully. I am not your pet, Mr. President. We Romanovs have our legacy to consider.
I don't give a wooden nickel about your legacy.
Seriously, has anyone working at EA actually watched any of these cutscenes? They're fucking gold! Command & Conquer 1 in particular is just screaming this beautiful amateur YouTube vibe to it. I fucking love it.
At least your mother tipped well.
God, the 90s are so fucking awesome. We even had hockey players drinking motor oil, for Christ's sake. And then while channel surfing, you run into Indian Bob Ross. Are these guys seriously unaware of all the cash that there is in nostalgia these days? EA, listen, seriously, I'll give you this one for free. You could have just taken a crappy-ass camera, gone to some crappy-ass warehouse, spent 20,000 bucks filming it for a day, a bunch of stupid-ass crap, and people would have ate that shit up. Command & Conquer Red Alert 2 is still to this day one of the greatest PC games I've ever played. In what other game can you use double-barreled tanks to destroy the fucking Pentagon? After 9/11, you just don't get cheese like that any longer. That shit is just so memorable, and it just can't be replaced by two fucking idiots sitting on their asses on the toilet shooting nuclear missiles at each other. That's boring compared to this shit. This shit just doesn't have any soul to it. It doesn't have a heart. It's a fucking reanimated corpse being paraded around by this fucking Australian cocksucker. I just can't stand it. You know, it's not enough that they just buy out these companies and then fucking shut them down. They gotta fucking take their beloved franchises and run them into the fucking ground. If there's anything to take away from this video, it's that please don't fucking download this game. If you do download it, don't buy any of their goddamn microtransactions. Don't let them get away with this shit. If anything, if you have to get your Command & Conquer fix, go on EA Origin and buy the anniversary pack. It has all of the old games. If you have to, email them and let them know that you would like an old game like that. Don't let them get away with this esports crap where this game just doesn't have a future. As long as we maintain command of the situation, we will conquer EA. Hey everybody, it's Ace here talking directly to you now. Have you played Command & Conquer before? What games were your favorites? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're scrolling down there, if you pass by that like icon, if you could just accidentally click it, that'd be pretty neat. Also, if you could subscribe and hit the bell icon, I can have you here for the next couple videos that I'm working on. I've got a lot more time on my hands, and therefore a lot more time to put some effort into these things. If you got more time than that, please stop by my twitch.tv/TheAceLewis channel. I've been streaming all of my making ofs, and I'd love to have you along for the ride while I do so. I will see you there. God bless. Be great.